quick tip: when pulling ivy off of the house, trees, or anywhere on your residence or for a customer, never try to take it off by hand. Never try to peel it off by hand, as you will scrape your fingers up, your knuckles, your fingernails. Man, it will be the worst. So please get a handheld tool or the spade or anything with a flat edge to scrape it off, so that you can ensure that your hands will stay safe. Gloves are optional, so if you like to wear gloves, that's fine. Me personally, I don't really like to wear gloves too much unless I'm really getting down and dirty with it. But make sure to have something with a flat edge to scrape off the house, okay? That way you will save your fingers, and fellas, your ladies ain't gonna want you to be rubbing on their bodies with no toe up hands. And ladies, you know damn well ain't no man gonna want you to touch them with some rough ass hands. All right, so gloves is optional, but make sure you grab a putty knife or some type of tool to scrape off the sides. I use this and the spade, okay, to get that stuff off. All right, let's keep them hands good. Good morning, my people. It's Raglan from Next Generation Landscaping. Do me a favor before we get started. Subscribe to the channel, give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment. All feedback is good feedback in my opinion. Help out the channel a little bit. We very much appreciate it. We got them. After a long time, well, let me go back. I did a video called Euonymus where we pruned up, you know, the golden Euonymus, and I've been going back and forth with the customer about getting the English ivy off of the wall. I'll put the picture up above so you can see what I'm talking about. But I've been going back and forth with her about, you know, hey, you know, let's get this ivy off the house, da, 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 you know. But you know, they were on the fence about it, you know, and this and that, how it may be, but we got them. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you real quick. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, all this English ivy that's growing up the wall, or how it may be, we got to get it off of there. Okay, so by it being on there, it eventually stain the wall up. As you can see, it's starting to stain as I pull some of it off, you know. But you'll have to you know, get something to really scrape it off so it won't look so bad. But they'll eventually have to come in and power wash and prune, okay? But to get all of this off, as you can see, it's tangled in between the window and everything, you know. But if you're not staying on top of this ivy, the English ivy or any type of ivy, okay, let's just make this perfectly clear. It's a good ground cover for beds. Ivy acts as a good drainage, you know, because like you see a lot of ivy on hills, in certain damp areas, moisture and stuff like that. That's where you'll see ivy at. But once you plant it up against your house or your residence, or if a customer has it up against, you know, their house or however it may be, you must always maintain it to a height. If not, it'll grow up the house as you see here, and if you don't catch it early, you will leave marks on the house where you'll have to go in, scrape and stuff like that. And hopefully, you know, like here, you don't mess up your white finishing or any type of finishing on your house. Like if you got siding, you will have marks on your siding and stuff like that. So before you plant ivy at your house, or if you're planting ivy for a residence or a customer or something like that, always do your research. Can I maintain this? okay? Because ivy grows wild now. It'll take over, you know, your entire plant bed. It will take over your house. Now, let me remind you, some customers like for this stuff to grow all over their house to give it that, you know, that feel. You know what I mean? Some people like it like that. All right. Some people like it to grow over their fences and stuff like that. That's what some people like, you know. But and I'm not knocking it. But if that's what you like, then but just make sure if you get tired of it and you want to take it off, that you're going to have marks. You're going to, you know, have to replace certain things and stuff like that. So once you're planting them, make sure that, you know, you can maintain this stuff, because every time you go come to cut the grass, or anytime you do weeding in your beds, or anytime, you know, you're doing some yard work, you have to stay on top of the ivy and keep it trimmed down low. If not, it would just take over the whole entire bed. Okay, all right, so let me show you one thing real quick. When doing ivy, you can always find your thickest stalk, like right here. Okay, you can always find your thickest stalk and pull it. Just pull it. Okay, pull it lightly, because you don't want to pull nothing off. Okay, see how you go all the way up, pull it, and it comes right on off. All right, take it off just like that. Now, this is what I'm talking about the markings. Now that I pulled that off, you have markings going all up the house. All right, and it's kind of hard to try to get it off, and it's going to mess up everything. Okay, just like right here, it's markings everywhere. All right, this is what I mean by it messing up the foundation, messing up the wood. But you'll have to try to find something that will you have to find something that you can scrape it off without, you know, messing it up further. Okay, all right, I'm gonna show you another method of how to get this off, and I'll be right back to you. Hello. So now another way to get this ivy off of the house is, and it's an efficient way for me, okay, just taking your trusty spade or anything with a flat edge like this, and just scraping along the sides of it to get it off. Okay, it may get some of the remnants off of it. It may get some of the sticky particles off of the house, and then it may not. Okay, but you know, let me show you what I'm talking about. It is the easier and it's an efficient way to get it done. Let me show you. Now we got this gutter right here. Okay, now what we don't want to do is to try to pull it off to risk pulling the gutter down. So what I got is, I got a little tool I got right here, just a little putty knife or something with a flat edge that you can scrape behind it just to pry it loose a little bit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we got it right here with the gutter at, okay, where the gutter is right here. So this is the gutter right here. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to try to pry as much. This is going to take some time, okay? It will take time to do it. See how you just take it, pry it off, and get what you can, okay? All right, save those fingers and get something sharp to have it coming down. You see how I'm doing this? Now, if you see back here, it's all pried back in between here. It's all pried back up in between the ivy. It's all pried up, okay? So now you got to take it and try to pry it so you can get it out of there, all right? And it's going on down. Going down with it. Okay? And then once you get behind it, see how it's popping, you hear it cracking? There you go. Then you can pull it. Alright? So that's just a quick tidbit to try to get it off. But never, and I mean never, try to pull it off by hand. Don't try to peel it by hand because you will tear your knuckles up. All right, back to work. Let me show you something real quick. Just know when you're doing ivy and you're pulling it off the wall, you're gonna have ants everywhere. Look at that. They're climbing up everywhere. All right, so make sure that you're out the way. You see the ants just crawling everywhere. Lord have mercy. All right, so make sure you got some spray, your gloves. Like I said, gloves is optional, but gloves, you know, and stuff like that, because you got ants that's going all through here. Okay? All right, back to work. Same method applies for the top as the same as you did for the bottom. So make sure you got your scraper when you go up the ladder. All right, now let me show you. Everything's off, everything's clear, everything's good to go. Okay, let me show you on the other side. Everything's off, everything's clear, everything's good to go. Okay, now once you got everything off and everything's clear and you pulled it all off of the house, the next step is to cut it down flush to your designated height. Okay, so now you may take your hand snips. Okay, you can take your hand snips. You could do scissors. I don't recommend scissors, but hey, to each his own. Or what I'm gonna use is my HC 2020s pruning shears. All right, just to go down and cut it flush. Cut it flush to the ground. That way I can maintain it and it won't grow back over the up on the wall part. Okay, but as you can see, it's a lot of thing. They're gonna have to pressure wash it, sand it down, and repaint it to get all of this stuff off of here, because as you see in the back behind the gutter part, there's a lot of stuff that's behind here too as well. Okay, so I'm gonna scrape off what I can, but they're gonna have to come back and sand everything down and pressure wash it and repaint it. Okay, so I'm gonna come in with my HC 2020s. I'm gonna cut everything flush to the ground and then clean everything up and we'll be good to go. See you in a second. All done. All right, let me show you the after product and let me show you what I was talking about. Okay, so see how we cut it all the way back here. Everything is cut all the way back down level to the ground. Okay, so nothing's on the walls, nothing's on here. Only thing that's left is the stickies. Okay, so they're gonna have to get somebody to come in, or if they want me to pressure wash it later, I can pressure wash it later. Try to pressure wash all this stuff off of the house. Let me slide over here so you can better see how all this stuff is on the house. So when you got ivy, just know that when you decide to have it grow up on your fence, your house, gutters, etc., that when you decide to take it off, you will have stickies. I call them stickies. I call them stickies left on your house. So make it a permanent thing if it's going to be up there. If it's not going to be a permanent thing, just keep it level, flush with the ground. Okay, so I hope this was useful for you. Let me give you another shot that looks like over here. So it looks a whole lot better when you're looking at it from here. Okay, so this is Raglan coming from Next Generation Landscaping. Keep persevering by any means necessary, and remember not to try to scrape it with your fingers, because you will tear your knuckles up and ain't nobody got time to be feeling that, bleeding, scraping. Your fellas, your ladies ain't gonna want no rough, scraped up hands rubbing on their bodies, and ladies, your men ain't gonna want to look at no lady with no rough hands. You understand what I'm saying? All right, I hope this was useful for you, and until the next time, which there will be a next time, see ya.